postponed this meeting. It is not my intention. It's the way the schedule was. I think also the meeting was planned on short notice. I didn't realize that there would be such a meeting until very late. Be that as it may, first is to say congratulations for holding this meeting, and again for being professionals in America. Yeah, to me that's also a major achievement, that your people were working in key areas which you can help our country grow. Now, again, also I'm happy to see these communities are very progressive community. I've realized here, I don't know whether you can get even a single Kenyan who is on welfare. Yeah, I find you guys are people who are creating employment. You are people who are sending money back home. And for me, I think the government of Kenya needs to recognize the good work you guys. It is superb, and we are so proud of you, the Kenyan Americans. I think that's why we thought of coming here and supporting this community. Now, on the issue concerning what you can do to our country, there are several things you can do. You being professionals, I think the first thing you need to consider as a way of giving back to the Kenyan community out there is to promote education in places that you come from. Let's say you come from, my friend is from Sabasaba. I think you need to think how you can go for young people in Sabasaba, for instance, or Malawi generally, and you support various schools, you support various educational courses, so that you have a new breed of young engineers, young doctors like you. Yeah, you mentor them, and when they hear they are being mentored by a Kenyan American, definitely they'll be very good. I think for me, that's one thing I would be urging you guys to create new educationists, new scientists in Kenya. That way, we will build a better society. Secondly, and I think I want to build on what my friend there, Dr. Irungu has said. When you look at, he has said a very good point, and I want to reiterate it. The money you send there, large proportion of it goes to consumption. Very little goes to investment. And when you look even for investment, you guys are more into real estate. And real estate is good, there's no doubt about it. But there's a problem. It only creates employment during construction. But after that, you need one or two gatekeeper there or a custodian to be managing the estate. So, why can't you open companies like Safaricom, Equity Bank? Yeah, to me, those are the real wealth creators. Yeah. Companies that can be listed in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Can you list your house in the Nairobi Stock Exchange? You can't.
That's why you say that individually you can't, but corporately you can do anything.
Yeah. So for me, I liked your point. We need to challenge the Americans here. You think of an idea, and you think, can I establish a company that can reach a level to be listed in the Nairobi Stock Exchange? That is the real creation. Yeah. And because you are professionals, you know ideas, you have ideas. I not mention, but there's somebody who gave me a very brilliant idea. He told me he wants to establish a college back in Kenya. That's a very brilliant idea. That's a very brilliant idea, because that way you'd imagine how many jobs that are going to be created once that college kicks in. And you create a synergy, America with Kenya. Everyone wants an American education. So take advantage of the fact that you are in America. You think, what opportunities can you leverage back in home? You create employment, you also create wealth for yourself. And that way, the Kenya now starts becoming a more modern, a more good society. I agree, Kenya has a lot of bottlenecks. Take for instance, if you want to open a college, assume two people want to open a college here in Seattle. One in Seattle, another one in Kenya. Who is going to register the college first? The one in Nairobi or in? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, you'll even be surprised. The one opening a college here will pay cheaper as opposed to the one here. In Kenya, you have to go several steps, several bureaucracy. So I think one of the things we need to do in Kenya is to reduce the bureaucracies of establishing businesses, of establishing ideas. That is the best way we are going to ensure Kenya progresses, and you being an American, our people are getting assistance there. I think that should be the best way. And now another question then should be, to me, I have just told you what you can do to the Kenyans, but what can Kenya do for you? Yeah, because it also needs to do something.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the things Kenya needs to do for you guys is to make it easier for you to become a Kenyan.
Soften.
Yeah. What does that entail? Take for instance, you have a Kenyan passport. Does it make sense for you to be going to Washington to renew your passport? It doesn't make sense. So it means Kenyan government is making it harder for you to remain a Kenyan. He's making I met a friend of mine who is now a citizen of America. He told me he's now a citizen. When he goes to Kenya with a Kenyan passport, with a US passport, he usually is told to pay about $6,000 and $50. Yeah, what is called entry. And then his investments in Kenya is compelled by the Kenyan government to disclose those investments to the US government. And then he is going to pay taxes to the US government. To me, that doesn't make sense. As we have no business in assisting America
make
taxes.
money.
We have no business. We should be saying that is private information. Yeah, that is private information. So for me, one of the things, myself, of course, you'll be asking, okay, you Kangata, you're telling us good things here. What have you done? What have you done for us? It's a legitimate question. Of course, last time when I was here, I promised to prepare a diaspora. I want to report that I've already prepared it. But it's not called diaspora. It's called Kenyan Citizenship and Immigration Amendment Act Bill of 2021. And preparing a bill is a very laborious process. The first thing you draft, the second thing you take it to the clerk's office of the Senate. He takes it to the Kenya Gazette. Then it goes from first reading, second reading, third reading. If it passes all those, it goes to the National Assembly. Again, the entire conveyor belt goes through. Ultimately, it goes to the president for action. That's when it becomes. So, the good thing is that already it's published. It's at the second reading. Now we are debating it. And if it passes, what will be the benefits of that being? Number one, it is compelling the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to devolve consular services to various cities in large continents and countries like America. So for instance, if it passes, we expect a consular office to be established here in Seattle and in Dallas, or in, let's say, in Massachusetts, in Boston, where we have large Kenyan communities. Secondly, when I was here, I noted that we have very public-spirited Kenyans, people who do community work. Like I always see that here in community. So I've said, those Kenyans who are very active in community matters in the diaspora, they need to get certificate of recognition with the Kenyan government. Even you guys, you stopped your work to come and pursue an agenda for the community, isn't it? So the government of Kenya needs, through its emphasis, to identify Kenyans who are public spirited, so that they get even a small certificate can incentivize you, isn't it? So other possible benefits of that will be there will be a diaspora desk at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that deals with the issues yeah. Of course, it's not a perfect bill. I need to get your ideas more. For that bill, you can Google it. It's there. Those who have joined the UDA WhatsApp group, it's already there. A copy is there. We have a WhatsApp group for UDA. A copy of the bill is there. So please continue giving us ideas. I know you guys have been championing for for representation in parliament, yeah, in the Kenyan parliament, in the Kenyan Senate. This bill doesn't cover that. Definitely, I think that's our discussions that needs to be pushed through the mainstream government, because such a bill I would imagine, cannot pass unless with the blessing of the government of the day. Another possible area of support would be to compel government of Kenya to allow you to vote. To vote. Again, that's a discussion at IBC level, because I'm aware there's a court order compelling government of Kenya to provide for diaspora voting, which is yet to be respected. In fact, by the way, on that scope, that is why me am now anti-government. Because this government we have in Kenya does not respect court orders. Otherwise, they should have brought diaspora voting. So with those or few or many remarks, I would beg to stop us there and now allow one or two people to give us some few interventions so that I then go. But keep the discussion. Whatever you'll agree after I'm done, if you want any support from me, put it in writing. Daktari will always talk with you. Put it in writing, then I will see. I will synthesize your ideas. I see what I can do to support this community. Maybe, Madam, you can say something? A comment or something?
Hi. I'm visiting Kenya. I'm back in Kenya, so please see me. So I can just add on the two stars of the meeting. Who told us about, you talked about research, right? So you've given us homework, you've given them homework, so I'll also give you homework. Clearly from what he said, the research is there. We're getting 60% of the revenue, that's what he said, is coming from the US, right? So we already know that. So why not come up with a double taxation agreement like he said, right? As in, we already have Kenyans who are willing to invest. What we as lawyers need to do is to come up with a law to just be able to support them, right? So if they had a DTA agreement, would it be easier for them to send money back home, to invest better in Kenya? If we help them, they help us back at home. And then for the matters of education, so people like him, if we had a database of all these Kenyans who have these skills, then that way we can be able to leverage on the skills, because we can't keep on saying that, oh, we have very talented Kenyans. We have very talented Kenyans in America, but we don't actually know what their talent is. Once we know, then we know how to take advantage of those talents. I had written something down. He also talked something about medicine, right? So we have, he talks about how expensive it is to come up with ways to make medicine. So there's one thing India has done. India has made the patent law different. So you can patent the actual medicine, but you cannot patent the actual process of making the medicine. So if you go and manufacture your drug in India and you call it Kenya Diaspora, that means that's all you have patented. Anyone else can make that medicine within India and call it something different. And then there you get generic medicines which are cheaper, which are affordable to people in India. Because if India did that, even us in Kenya, because what we take from chemists mostly, 90% is generic medicine. That's what we can afford, right? The difference is about a 90% markup, which is significant. So by India helping their people, they are also helping people outside. So Kenya is a country full of vibrant, technologically advanced, smart people. Imagine if we just were able to leverage on that. Just use the law. You're a lawyer in parliament. Drive the people who don't understand law. Drive them, create laws that foster that environment, that will enable even us as young lawyers in Kenya, as young professionals, to function within and also without Kenya. Because if it was even easier, if we had bilateral agreements between Kenya and America, and we could come maybe benchmark for a month, go back to Kenya, tell them actually it's possible to do your courts online. So your case doesn't take 10 years in court. It takes a year. Here it takes what, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And it's done. And it's actually possible because of leveraging on technology. You just have to keep on talking about it, advocacy, forcing people, because the judges were living your iPads, but they just refused to use them. One of them used to use it as a poster, an iPad. So even using the law to force people to embrace certain things, I think that's the way to go. And for all the changes that everyone has talked about today, it begins with people like you, lawyers who are in parliament. Because there's no decision that can be made in a country without law, right? Otherwise no one follows it. So it's you people like you are the ones who are supposed to help us. So help us. And it's really good that you're actually coming to the grassroots level and listening to us. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, tukisikize.
Mimi.
Yes, that's
Sasa niongee nini?
Something a comment or
Right.
I think what you do,
Yeah.
because she was one of the speakers, she can combine what you say.
We are talking about how do we reach the people? How do they know we have all these ideas? We have come in this small room. No one else has had us. Probably Gary is going to put it on YouTube, but how many people go to YouTube? In this Seattle, we have a large Kenyan community. A large Kenyan community that is very business-minded, that is very hardworking. How do we reach them? Sometimes I look at Telemundo and say, it just started somewhere. Why not start a Swahili TV station, a Swahili radio station, one that is not YouTube, but actually a TV station. And I'm sure, like we say, the business here allows, the business environment here allows us to be able to register these businesses. And we have a large audience. Swahili-speaking Africans, we have Rwandese, we have the Central Africans and all that. So how do we now put all these in, get people to hear these things? It's through that such channels that we can also open up. All right. I'm also a language artist, as she says. I speak French, I speak Swahili. I'm a lover of Kikuyu and ethnic languages and culture. So therefore, let's not just talk and put it on paper. Let's act on it. Let's even open these TV stations. We have people who are professionals here. I know people who are reporters back home, and I have their numbers also. We have Gary, we have other artists. Why don't we come together and like we say, we all pull up our resources and we invest, all right? We begin from here because this is where we are living in, and then now we extend it back home because we have to live life where we are, all right? We cannot keep saying we will go home and invest. No, why not invest where we are at? We first of all live the life before now we go retire back home. I'm not saying it's wrong to invest in Kenya. Yes, we will invest, but then again, remember the bottlenecks like we talked about, the land issues where double allocations and all that. We fear. We fear those double land allocations. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Thank you. Yes, yeah, you can say something.
Okay, I'm Joe, as I said previously. I think that this one is to President Direct. It's quite unfortunate that we are all Kenyans. As being said, we are professionals. I've been a lecturer in Kenya for the last 11 years. And according to our country setup, currently, it's becoming very unbearable to end professional work. And even while we are here for that short time, what we are doing in Kenya, we are not very sure, especially the way you have done it. The simple investment we are doing there, we are not very sure. It's quite unfortunate that I left my accounts blank without any thinking that instead I would get access to my own accounts in Kenya just to come here. And after 3 months, just to do something against my accounts, I was running empty. And it's like, how sure in our country, in our beloved country we do? So now, much you want to do work in Kenya, I would rather by the age of my sister, working in a team together, doing things more here than our country, because so long as we have no access in Kenya, mostly infrastructure, we will be afraid to put our little efforts down there. And I tell you for sure, let me say this, mostly a good number of people here, they came in state, they have no information about states. Fortunately, they happen to have there some few dollars running up and down in their accounts, and they want to put them in the country. They are not 100% sure of what they are sending there. Either those plots are buy from all over Kenya, nonsense. They are not sure. Yes, Maguta Naniki about 10 plots. Maguta, he is not sure. The day you land there, something like that. So that's kind of almost from the door. Now, here.
Yes, allow me now to respond to that. I think you continue the conversation once I leave you in the able hands of that. So, one is the issue concerning double taxation. She has talked about double taxation. The issue of the database, the issue of the patent. Double taxation, Kenya currently is negotiating what we call free trade agreement with the US. Among the issue of the margin to be captured in that for free trade agreement is the issue of double taxation. And I pray the negotiators will be wise enough to look at that issue and ensure that we address it so that we reduce taxes for people who are doing cross-border trade between the two countries. I think we need to urge the government, or if not this government, the government that we hope that will come next, which I'm praying is the Hustler Nation government, to look at that issue and ensure that issue of democratization is addressed. Database is an issue, is a component issue of my bill. Please check out that. I propose that a database of people who live in diaspora be kept. Of course, you know, in America we have two kinds of people. We have the people who are above the water, and we have the under the water. I think the under the water, the so-called undocumented migrants, they are a huge number of people. But I think now as Kenya negotiates free trade agreement, now there is an opportunity for that issue to be remedied. How? You know, the Kenya can tell America, okay, fine, do this. You want us to open our economy. Yeah? You see, that's the demand America will put to Kenya. Kenya can say, we need a reciprocation obligation for you to allow our workers to come to your country and work with formal papers. Yeah? Yeah, it is possible. Like now, America has a deficit of workers, and Kenya has a surplus of workers. So our comparative advantage is in workers. So I think that's an area, is a discussion that Kenya can have to ensure this problem of the importance of the database is addressed. And also the issue of the patent. I would imagine, I think Kenya needs to exercise its sovereignty and address this so that we become like. Now, there is the issue concerning communication. You have seen a very good point on communication. Now, on that score, here in America, I've seen we have a lot of what I would call, how do I say, radio stations and TV stations. We have a lot of them. The ones that I know are in Kikuyu, they are Kikuyu radio stations. I was telling a friend of mine who owns one of those stations. Number one, if I were you need to get a partner. You cannot become rich alone. You cannot grow alone, by the way. There's a reason as to why the largest company in Nairobi is called Safari. if there are so many shareholders, if there are so many people, yeah, tell me which sole proprietor business that is large in Kenya, which one? Very few. They progress up to a certain level. Yeah? Because now, if my friend who has a radio station, if he had some partners, you know what he will do? He works in other leagues, that's something. So he's only able to broadcast for only 2 hours per day. So he'd get another partner who would be broadcasting for another 2 hours. Yeah. Then another one who broadcast another 2 hours. Yeah. That way you build a 24-hour communication channel. Yeah. And I'm also telling him, also take advantage of Kenya. You know Kenya, to get an employee who is in KMTC, who can broadcast for you for free. It's very easy. To get even an employee in Kenya who can do broadcasting at 20,000, 15,000, they are many who can do it. So also create synergies in Kenya, because Kenya has also some advantages you guys don't know, like cheap labor.
It is true.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah, people who are idle. So, like a radio station, I wish I was in America and I want to venture into communication. I would get my friends, I would get synergies in Kenya and ensure I have a 24-hour station. See, Mambo Abuja would have only 2 hours. Because no, create network in Kenya. Now I come down to the issue. Yes, it is true. There's a problem when it comes to Kenyans who want to invest. There's a huge problem. I hear you guys people steal money from me. But in a way also, ask yourself, after ukinyang'anya pesa, what is your mistake? You yourself. Number one, I've realized when you invest in Kenya from America, people don't see professional advocacy. Wewe ukigonjeka, wewe unaendanga kwa nani? Unaendanga kwa mchawi ama kwa daktari? So when you're investing in Kenya, where do you go to ambaye si wakili? Get a lawyer to do what is called due diligence. Yeah. So if you want to buy a plot, go get professional advice. You know, if I give you false information, do you know what remedies exist in law as against wakili tell them? So we take out insurance. Insurance we pay, like now me I pay almost how much? I pay almost 500,000 Kenya shillings every year. So that, nikikuibia pesa, unipeleke kotini, my cover is 500 million. You see? So the point is, why can't you go and get legal, a lawyer? Siku kuja, you know, utapata umeenda kwa kanisa hapa Isiaka. Wakati umekaa hapo, you see a guy there telling you, can you buy a plot? And then you rush, you invest, get a land economy, get a building economy. If you want to build a house in Kenya, if that building economy steals money from you, simple. Go to his professional body. You report him. Huyu mtu alimdanganya. Nataka for food to eat. Yeah? If a lawyer steals money from you or gives you misadvises you, do you know our legal profession in Kenya is the most highly regulated profession? Why? Because one, you can take me to the court, you can take me to the insurance, you can lay an insurance claim, you can take me to Law Society of Kenya, you can take me to the Attorney General's office, and what we call disciplinary committee. You see? So I will be compelled to give you fair advice. But I agree, we need to make enforcement of rights and real duties easier for everyone, so that it continues becoming a good area. But definitely, please teach Kenyans that before you invest your hard-earned money, get a professional advice. Yeah? Let's say a land economist, a lawyer, even companies. We have what is called capital markets authority. Yeah, CMA. Yeah, if you want to invest into these funds or insurance. So anyway, me, I'm done. And thank you. I won't speak again. I want to exit.
Before you
God bless
exit,
you.
Before you exit, I want to make this one remark.
about the whole thing that you have done. And I invite